That's a fact. And no matter how unachievable that goal or dream might be, if you keep practicing and keep working towards it, one day you get very close.
Train harder. Say what? Nobody cares. Train harder.
There's been some talk about possibly Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Jake Paul is reportedly training with Tyson Fury as he prepares for the Anthony Joshua fight. Fury says Jake has moved closer to his long-term goals, and this matchup is one of the biggest steps in that journey. He believes Jake will push hard to achieve it, calling the fight a 50-50 challenge because Jake has grown far beyond his YouTube past and now competes with serious intent.
You want to achieve, and even if you don't actually achieve the biggest target in your life, you might get close to it, so it's definitely worth pursuing. But someone who doesn't have goals and doesn't have a target can never achieve anything.
Jake Paul is training intensely, saying he's determined to become a world champion one day. He's taking his camp seriously, focusing on discipline, conditioning, and improving every weakness. Jake believes his hard work will eventually pay off, showing he's committed to proving himself as more than just a celebrity boxer.
Not be treated like I'm Jake Paul or a famous person. No, like they treat me like I'm trying to become a world champion, which is exactly the case.
Tyson Fury believes Jake Paul has a real chance to beat Anthony Joshua, highlighting how far Jake has progressed. Fury insists people should not underestimate Jake anymore, because he has developed into a focused fighter who can surprise established heavyweights.
There's been some talk about possibly Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spent force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. And I like his new heavyweight look. Bit chubby, bit bulky.
Boxing has always been as much about business as it is about sport, and Barry Hearn makes this point explicitly regarding Anthony Joshua. Hearn, a veteran promoter, insists that Joshua should seriously consider a bout against Jake Paul, emphasizing that boxing is fundamentally a money business. In Hearn's view, the financial incentives are impossible to ignore. He suggests that, while some may question the legitimacy or competitiveness of such a fight, the opportunity to secure a massive payday is a critical factor in a boxer's career decisions. For promoters, fighters, and audiences alike, the potential revenue from a Joshua-Paul matchup could surpass conventional expectations, making it difficult to dismiss purely on sporting grounds.
Joshua, and whether he should fight Jake Paul. What's your view on that, Barry?
Money. Don't be silly. You know, I mean, you're mostly sensible, aren't you?
Mostly.
Of course, we're all purists at heart, but purism doesn't necessarily pay the bills, and boxing is a money business. And the day we don't accept that and then move on, we won't understand why certain things happen.
So if that fight's there next week and it's signable and they can do Joshua against Tyson Fury next year, take the Jake Paul fight in December, go and do it.
128%.
Sports analyst Simon Jordan has shared his perspective on Jake Paul's unusual rise in boxing. Jordan highlights the unconventional nature of Paul's career, noting that transitioning from a YouTube personality to a boxer challenging world-class athletes is far from typical. In traditional boxing circles, Paul's trajectory is met with skepticism and even criticism. Jordan points out that boxing has long valued methodical development, a journey through amateur ranks, and progressive challenges against increasingly competitive opponents. Jake Paul's approach disrupts this paradigm, and for many in the boxing community, it raises questions about respect for the sport, the quality of competition, and the sustainability of such a path.
As a boxing purist, it doesn't sit well, but as a normal working class lad, I've been asked by builders, would you fight Jake Paul for £5 million? I never got £5 million for fighting anyone else in a fight, so it's the silliest question in the world. I've been retired 7 years, I'm still very confident. If you give me 3 weeks to get off the couch, I'll probably still beat him with one hand. It's not, he's not a good fighter, so it's not even being disrespectful to him. As a YouTuber, as a presenter in what he does, he blows me out the water. That's his line of work, but you're stepping into boxing, another profession. Now, to call it like Canelo out, I think is disrespectful. To call Anthony Joshua out is lunacy, but we know why it's happening and why he does it.
Forget Jake Paul.
Forget Jake Paul.
A lot of tickets. Paul. I mean, Jake Paul's going to do what Jake Paul does. But Anthony Joshua, and with respect to you and what you did and didn't earn in your career, Anthony Joshua has earned a king's ransom.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need to be fiddle with this, does he?
Yeah. No, he doesn't. But again, all I keep seeing from people out there is, when is enough enough? And I get that. But when you're retired at 33, 34, and you've got to make that last now, you've got more experience than me in this, dealing with a lot of footballers in the past as well, and business people who have to make a certain amount of budget last. It's the easiest money you'll probably ever make.
Despite criticism, Jake Paul has undeniably given several professional boxers their largest paydays, illustrating his financial impact on the sport. However, his conduct has not been universally praised. Analysts and fans note that Paul has often disrespected boxing legends and traditional practitioners, calling out fighters in a manner that some consider provocative or dismissive. This duality creates a tension within the sport. Paul brings significant money and attention, but his approach challenges established norms and evokes mixed feelings among veterans and purists.
I want to fight Anthony Joshua, exclusive, because I know that I will.
I'm so sorry for my English, but I have to. See, Jake Paul does lots of good things. He has a camp for kids where he, I guess, gives training and coaching and gloves and environment for kids in Puerto Rico. He helped lots of boxers to get the bigger purse than they deserve. He has done some good things. But, and you are kind of trying to be on his side, but then he says something like that. Like, you almost are on his side, and then he says, I want to fight Anthony Joshua and Canelo at the same night, or whatever. Jake, fighting Anthony Joshua and Canelo is not fighting Tyron Woodley or 60 years old Mike Tyson with Alzheimer's. Anthony Joshua is able to literally kill you. No doubt. If his mission is to kill you on the ring, he will kill you. You lost against Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury won against you. What Anthony Joshua? What Canelo, my friend? Canelo, you would need the liver replacement after Canelo fight. I promise you. I don't know. So stop doing that shit. Do the good things you are doing, and we will be on your side. Just stop saying crazy shit like this.
The question of the upcoming fight between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul extends beyond finance. Comparisons with Gervonta Davis's exhibition bout against Paul illustrate the challenges involved. Whereas Davis was considered small for Paul, Anthony Joshua presents a far more formidable challenge due to his size and experience. Analysts stress that Joshua would not treat the fight as a mere exhibition, but seeks a legitimate contest where skill and power are genuinely tested. This desire for a real fight aligns with Joshua's professional ethos, distinguishing the potential bout from other celebrity-driven matchups.
In making this fight, one, yes, that's the former heavyweight champ. Why is he fighting Jake Paul? And two, why is Jake Paul putting his health and well-being on the line? Because someone asked me on Twitter, Wade, if Jake Paul gets knocked out, will his career be over? Buddy, his life may be over if he gets knocked out by AJ, because that dude put Francis Ngannou flat on his back, and I had never seen Francis Ngannou hurt before. Again, it's boxing, not MMA. Jake has a little more experience, but we're talking about a massive size difference. AJ's still relatively young and still relatively got something left in the tank, and he's only fought the world-class guys for the last 10 years. This would be Jake's not only hardest fight, most dangerous fight of his career. If Jake is doing this, it could signal the last one. I'm not even joking. This could signal Jake being like, I'm having one more of these and I'm out. Because where do you go from Anthony Joshua? We'll get into that part in a second, but the Netflix thing. We know that Anthony Joshua is an exclusive fighter to DAZN. Eddie Hearn has stated that multiple times. AJ, I'm pretty sure, even has a piece of DAZN. I could be wrong about that, but he signed a mega deal years ago with them. So for this fight to take place on Netflix would mean DAZN would say, you can have one of our biggest cash draws, and I may be in a revenue share thing, or maybe Netflix pays them some money, but you can have our biggest cash draw, and we don't have an affiliation with it. That seems a bit unrealistic. But having said that, this isn't a report from anybody in the camp. This is not MVP saying it. This is not Eddie Hearn saying it. This is Mike Coppinger, who I guess has talked to people in the camp. But an independent source saying that they are finalizing a deal. Not that they're in talks. They are finalizing a deal. So this is, again, we're talking 1 yard line, first and goal, right? We're right there.
Gareth A. Davies highlights a crucial aspect of the discussion, the significant physical advantage Joshua holds over Paul, standing at 6 feet 7 inches and weighing considerably more than the 6 feet 2 inches. Paul, Joshua's size and strength offer him a distinct edge. This disparity is not trivial, as it influences both strategy and risk assessment in the ring. Davies notes that these differences, combined with Joshua's elite technical skills, would make the contest a serious challenge for Paul, while simultaneously contributing to the immense spectacle and financial draw. For audiences, the contrast adds intrigue, showcasing the clash between raw size and celebrity appeal.
I'm not sure Anthony Joshua's going to play the game like everyone else. And it could be fairly calamitous, I think, if Joshua stepped into a ring with Jake Paul. But we're going to watch it because we want to see Jake Paul get knocked the F out. We do. Everyone wants to see it. I mean, I've even said it to him. I was looking forward to Mike Tyson him knocking the fuck out. Doesn't surprise me. He's looking for the biggest names out there, and it just shows that he's prepared to put himself on the line to promote himself.
Would it be more competitive than the Ngannou fight, in your opinion, or less?
That's a very good analogy. It's a very good comparison. Much less competitive. I mean, I think it's got to be at that level of exhibition bout. I think it's a very dangerous fight for Jake Paul. Very dangerous. He's probably got one chance to try and counterpunch. And if he catches Joshua, he might do something. But I see that as a 100% win for Anthony Joshua.
Another key consideration is Joshua's remarkable knockout power, which Gareth emphasizes with vivid imagery, likening it to a plumbing mule kick. Such raw power is not only intimidating, but also a tactical factor that could dominate the bout. Analysts argue that even a single misstep by Paul could lead to a swift conclusion, making the fight both highly risky and highly anticipated. Joshua's punching power underscores the serious sporting dimension of the matchup, balancing the business-driven motivations with genuine athletic stakes.
Right. This one, you got a guy who's 6'7" to Jake Paul 6'2", probably weighs 30 pounds more than him if he's 220, and who hits like a blooming mule kicks. So, and you know, yes, Anthony Joshua's had issues against very skilled boxers, and he's been caught by Andy Ruiz, and he's been caught by Alexander Usyk twice, and out-hustled and outboxed, and knocked out by Daniel Dubois. But Jake Paul is not the kind of guy, not the kind of guy, not gay, not the kind of guy who is going to be able to pick him apart in any way, shape or form.
Michael Bisping offers an insightful analysis of the risk-reward scenario for Jake Paul. Bisping observes that Paul occupies a unique position where there is no real downside. Winning against Joshua would catapult him to unprecedented levels of praise and recognition, while even losing would still elevate his status in terms of notoriety and audience attention. This situation contrasts with traditional boxing risks, where losses can significantly damage a career. For Paul, the upside is immense and the downside minimal, which explains his persistent pursuit of high-profile, high-reward matchups.
I'm not like out there on an island by myself. Everyone says the same thing, and he would potentially prove all of those critics wrong. Well, yeah, he would, maybe, unless there's some funny business, right? And for Anthony Joshua, as I said, this is kind of a lose-lose, right? Because if he wins, people are still going to say, well, you only beat Jake Paul, right? The man that lost to Tommy Fury, after all, right? That's the only loss in his record, Tommy Fury. You're telling me that Tommy Fury's going to beat him, and then Anthony Joshua's not going to beat him? So if he beats him, he gets no credit. And if he loses, then holy Can you imagine? That would be the biggest downfall of any boxer's career. The reality is, he's not going to lose. There is no way on this earth that Jake Paul can beat Anthony Joshua in a boxing match. That's just a fact, okay? Look at what he did to Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou hits as hard as a Ford Escort, going 100 miles an hour or whatever that stat was. Comes from the UFC. He was the UFC heavyweight champion of the world. Has a good go against Tyson Fury, but goes up against Anthony Joshua and gets flatlined. Every single punch that was thrown was landed, and every punch that landed put Francis Ngannou down, okay? So to stand there and think that Jake Paul, who's much, much smaller, who has way less experience, that doesn't weigh anything near him, is going to have a chance, and not to mention the technical abilities. Let's just talk about that. Not to mention the technical abilities or experience. We're talking about an Olympic gold medalist, remember, from back in the day, who's then gone on to become a true British boxing icon or a worldwide boxing icon, let's be honest, right? There's no way that he loses to Jake Paul.
Despite the financial allure, critics point out a major stumbling block in Paul's trajectory, his loss to Tommy Fury. Fury, while relatively inexperienced in professional boxing, managed to challenge Paul effectively, exposing vulnerabilities. Analysts argue that if Paul struggled against Fury, who lacks the extensive experience of a world champion like Joshua, the risks of facing Joshua could be even greater. This historical context tempers expectations, suggesting that fame and financial motivation may not fully compensate for gaps in technical skill and ring experience. Analysts have been candid about the unpredictable nature of a Joshua-Paul fight. While Joshua's skill and size are clear advantages, there is a strategic complexity in facing an unconventional opponent like Paul. Experts suggest that Joshua may need to approach the bout cautiously, holding back to avoid unnecessary risks while still asserting dominance. Such careful planning reflects the broader challenge of mixing traditional elite boxing talent with celebrity-driven matches, where publicity, finances, and competitive integrity must all be weighed.
The cynicism in me tells me that this is going to be just an exhibition, and AJ should wipe the floor with him within the first round, right? And if he doesn't, are we getting mugged as punters?
Well, it's on Netflix, so if you've got a net...
No, but whoever's punters, let's say punters, the watching audience, right, around the world, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, mate.
I think it's dangerous.
Yeah,
I genuinely think it's dangerous.
Well, but that's
put in a world heavyweight champion.
But then the cynic,
who's at the top 4 or 5 fighters in the world.
Then the cynic in me tells me,
YouTuber who's never had a proper fight.
Right, the cynic in me straight away goes, I think AJ's probably going to be told, and I don't know this, don't go heavy on him the first round.
No, he can't afford to do that. Anthony Joshua can't afford to do that.
Okay, well, that's where I'm wrestling with my own mind right now. You asked me the question. How do I feel about it? I don't know what to make of it, mate. I seriously don't know what to make of it. I seriously don't.
I think it's a joke.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it.
I'll watch it because...
I don't know whether I will, JJ. Honestly, I probably will close the vote. Right now, I don't know whether I will. I don't know whether I will, honestly.
For Joshua, entering the ring with Paul would require meticulous preparation. The combination of a significant size advantage and elite knockout power offers a theoretical edge, but analysts warn that underestimating Paul's unconventional style could result in surprises. Coaches and strategists are likely to emphasize controlled aggression, tactical awareness, and selective engagement to balance the financial incentives with the preservation of professional credibility. In this sense, the fight represents a hybrid challenge, part sport, part spectacle, and part business maneuver.
Who did you fight? Mayweather. No, Mayweather. I didn't watch that. Who fought Mayweather? Oh, it was. I tell you, it was. Who was the MMA fighter?
Logan Paul. The one that you didn't know the name of, yeah.
Logan Paul, right?
He fought Floyd Mayweather.
I didn't watch that one either, right?
I know, but Jake Paul's got a bit more boxing credentials. He has because he.
What about McGregor? Who did McGregor fight? Did he fight someone? McGregor? Or have I made that up?
Yeah, I don't know. Where's your head at?
I don't know, mate. They all
it's all over the gaff. You gave Andy your number and you gave him the talk.
His name's Adam.
Adam, sorry. You gave Adam the number.
I know.
You said 03717 22
I gave him the sports.
You gave him the sports number.
No, but I don't.
Get your head out.
No, I don't know. I don't know whether I will watch it actually. If you want the honest truth.
Well, we asked for some calls, and people have phoned up. They're interested in it to have their say. Let's go to Paul, who's a Man United fan. All right, Paul?
All right, P-Dog?
Yeah. You all right? How you doing?
I'm all right, Paul. Look, obviously big news. What do you make of this?
Oh, I think, so I'm a big boxing fan. I think Jake Paul's got a better chance against Joshua.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.